Welcome to 155, a podcast about punk songs. I'm Sam Sutherland.
And I'm Josiah Hughes, and I just want to, again, shout out our house band, Split Hairs.
Wow! Yes!
Always delivering. I'm not sure if you, dear listeners, have noticed yet, but that's, what is this, the fifth one? That's 5 theme songs now, and counting, coming from that band, Split Hairs. So, quite a house band.
When they originally sent you all the themes, or when they perform, I guess in this context we have to pretend that they are like a live band sort of in the sort of theater of the mind podcast environment. Was the Christmas theme like new this week, or was that sort of always baked into the sort of Split Hairs discography?
No, the Christmas one was this week, although hopefully Split Hairs, if you're listening, it would be great if you could come up with themed ones. Just kind of look at what's happening on Thursdays and Fridays for the next, foreseeable future, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait for like like Grandparents' Day, Secretary's Day. Like get really cheeky with the classic holidays that we love to make fun of here at 1990s, the podcast.
Wait, what? I don't get that reference.
Mostly because as I was doing it, I felt like making jokes about like Hallmark invented holidays. It is like a very 1999 kind of like broad family comedy joke.
But I think that's a good vibe to have, especially when we're in the free section of the new episode. Kind of keep it family friendly.
That's right. This is the PG-13. It's still a little risque. There might be a joke or two that like your younger you doesn't get, but mostly still an experience that you can enjoy with the whole family.
Speaking of enjoying things with the whole family, this week, I really think that there's a time to talk about shitty things that suck a lot. And then every once in a while, as a palate cleanser, we need to talk about cool things, which is why we're talking about the band Crass and their song Merry Crassmas this week.
So you don't think that Nine Inch Nails is a cool band then?
No, actually, yeah, everyone can listen to that episode to hear my takes fully. I mean, they're a cousin band, and so a cousin band is cool to cousins. But if you're on the other side of the sort of cousin dichotomy, then you're not going to fully understand. You're going to always feel like you're Matthew McConaughey pushing those library books in Interstellar, which is also a cousin movie, which I didn't love. So,
do you know how to tell, like, if you're, because it is, it's Christmas time. Some people might be spending time with family right now. If you're in a family environment because you are allowed to, or you've all been vaccinated, or maybe you're just on a Zoom, how do you know that you're not the cousin?
Well, I can only speak from my own experience, but I think you are the cousin to that cousin. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're cousins. Oh. They're going to be like,
every cousin is somebody's cousin.
Exactly. It's just kind of a cross to bear. And I've been listening to podcasts about List a lot recently because I love that show. And they kind of seem to love their cousins and love to brag about who has the most cousins. And their bit with cousins is that they like think cousins rock, which is kind of throwing, I think in a pop cultural sense, your cousins are always going to be into things that you kind of understand why they're into them, but you don't fully understand. So I do think Nine Inch Nails to me is cousin music.
I understand that. I was actually on a Zoom call with a bunch of my mom's cousins yesterday, and they're all, getting on in their years, and the entire conversation was just about people's prostate cancer and people that they knew who had died. It was quite a dark window into the twilight of cousin culture.
Yeah, you just got to really limit your cousin communication, or else things get very confusing. But no, exactly. I do think, so last week we had a Twitch stream where we were playing some pop punk Christmas songs. And obviously this used to be a podcast about a different pop punk band. And it's tempting to just do an episode about the most ooh, it's Christmas, my stocking hung with care. Just a pop punk voice doing some stupid, awful,
It would
far
only be
beyond
a pop punk song if the stocking is hung and then it becomes a dick joke.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think of one, but I do feel like the more that they come out, they've stopped even trying to be subversive like 15 years ago. Now they're just fully 100% suburban. Now that all those pop punk guys are like 45 and have a starter home with like, with one of those like weird glass fireplaces that doesn't actually have fire in it, but it just like looks like fire that you can get as an add-on with your starter home.
And they all have cameos that they're promoting via Instagram ads right now.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's just an interior of a house that's just all Amazon gadgets. So I feel like those kind of dudes are not they've just lost the ability. Maybe 20 years ago they would have been like, I put my dick in your stocking, you were talking, we were mocking, or like some shit that almost would be a joke. But now there's just no dicks going anywhere unless it's in that window to conceive.
Prime day punks.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I was just like I was like racking my brains trying to think of like what would be a good one that stood out from the pack. But it's mostly so embarrassing. And then thanks to my friend Chris, who I have collaborated with a bunch from the bands Mueco and Snara and No War, I was like, what are some actual real punk Christmas songs? And so he showed me a few. Actually, I want to show you one of the other ones that I almost did before I settled on this one. But there's this Welsh punk band called Impact that are like, they're kind of only known for this punk Christmas 7-inch they did. And it's like, it's very much like, I found like a recent interview with them from a couple years ago, and they're still talking about this like punk Christmas single they did in the 80s.
That's a very cool thing to be known for.
Well, it's funny like how it also is actually really good.
Okay, so when's this from? The 80s?
I think it's like 82 or something. 83. But it's a whole EP, and Santa's stage diving on the front.
Let's get parties running straight. Let's get back into everything. Gathering all our friends around. Voices raised in every town. Music playing on the radio. Christmas time so long ago.
Yeah, that's really fucking good. Sorry, so it's not punk rock Christmas, it's just punk Christmas.
Yeah, I think there might be a song called Punk Rock Christmas too or something. I'm not sure. To me, that sounded like a present day Japanese oi worship band would come up with that song or something. It's like seems like an impression of an impression or something. It's sick as hell, but I still was like, it feels a little bit too on the nose. And then I guess I just thought Merry Crassmas by Crass. We've only done side A this year because I wanted to kind of give people some limitations, so we weren't doing a full 10-minute thing. Maybe next year we'll do side B for our Christmas episode. You never know.
But something to look forward. Flip the record. You know what? Are we all looking forward to flipping the record in 2021?
It's true. I don't know. I think I'm just kind of...
I leaned back right after I said that. Like I was done, by the way. I just reclined in my chair and was like, I can do anything I want for the rest of the podcast.
You threw your cue card on the ground after
Somebody's going to put that on Twitter. It'll get 10 likes. I'll feel good about my sort contribution.
This is all on cue cards, everything we say on this show. So that's it. I do fiddle with a pen.
Letterman over here.
I do kind of dangle a pen around like David Letterman. I don't know why. And what was he writing all the time?
Secrets.
He's writing secrets. Probably some Illuminati type shit. I think I'm just to be honest with you, I'm a little bit scared to talk about Crass. I'm a little bit scared to talk about something so cool. But I'm also just so entry level with this band. I've owned a couple of their records and listened to them and loved them, but I still feel there's something about them that's so exciting. That's it's the logo is perfect. All of the graphic design is perfect. The music is incredible. The production is so cool. The politics are seem like you need to do a reading or like it just like when Chris told me about this song, he's like, how much do you know about Crass? And I was like, well, I've owned a couple of records, but I'm not like deep. And then he's like, you need to read these books. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to read books for my podcast. I mean, that just seems antithetical to the whole plan. But
I do really love the idea of like, if you want to get into this band, read these books first.
But
like,
it does. I just think whenever I've listened to Crass records, I love them so much, but I also feel like it's like a window into a whole world. And also the logo and kind of the people you associate it with, I always just kind of thought they'd be bad when I was younger. And then I heard it, I'm like it sounds like art school, but in a good way. And then also it's like so anarcho. It's just like everything about it is so fascinating and terrifying. So I'm a little nervous, but then the fact that it's like so highbrow and then we're talking about a song that is like so silly. Like hopefully Crass will not sue us if we just play a little bit of this. I think it's like
Crass could sue you for playing any of this.
Santa here to say to you all,
I don't know what they own inside, outside of, I guess the master. But
I mean,
like they're more sued by, I don't know, John Bells or whoever wrote
John Bells. So yeah, we're talking about Merry Crassmas Side A. This is the A side of a 7-inch that was put out in 1981. It's a medley of Christmas songs
classic.
and Crass songs performed on what sounds like a hockey organ / Casio. I actually also think, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I mean, how do you feel about this?
The song or Crass?
Just everything. I mean, how do you feel right now? How you doing, buddy?
I feel great. Since I got the 2021 flipping the record joke off, I've just been like sort of, feeling myself. Like I said, feeling good about my contributions. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm 99% sure I've never heard a song by Crass. So I think when I listened to this earlier, it was the first Crass recording I've ever heard.
It's so good.
And so I'm like, this is, to me, this sounds like the I don't know what type of keyboard this is, and I would love if there's anybody listening to this who like knows more about these things. This sounds exactly like the Silver Shamrock, like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch theme song. They're like, Silver Shamrock, 10 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. And so if someone could tell me if this is like the John Carpenter Season of the Witch synth, I would be grateful. But Crass always existed as like, I don't want to say a joke, but there's shorthand for a very specific type of person. And I always associated them with like the kind of like, I don't know, like bunch of fucking goofs, like, the Three Tards, like these bands in Toronto,
Right, exactly. You think of it as being like, if you don't know, then you think that it's like for oogles.
Yeah. The Subhumans UK, like, and I have never pursued any of that, like, music with any particular gusto or interest, and so like Crass was just like shorthand for like a type of punk, but like the most sort of like true non-sellout version of that, like, in a way that was still like probably respectful and deferential to the sort of broad strokes ideals that the band gets kind of painted with. But it is such a massive blind spot for me outside of the aesthetics, which I agree are like insanely sick. But I don't know.
So, okay, having said all that,
anything about Crass,
even for that to be your first introduction to them, it's pretty funny, right? Like they're
no, it's incredible. It makes me, and I've had a sort of sense that I was wrong about Crass for a long time. But if anything, I've started sort of retroactively lumping them in more with a band like Tragedy. Like, even though I know they're not like a DB band, but just in terms of being a band that sort of had a very specific political lane, and in which all of their operations as a band sort of were funneled, and that was sort of, again, like unassailable, and truly an example of like artists living by the beliefs that they espouse, as opposed to the rest of us being like, for the most part, like prime day punks all the time.
Yeah.
And so, but whereas like I listened to Tragedy, I've never listened to Crass. And so now I kind of feel like maybe it's like a project for me over the holidays.
Well, that's
because like this is really funny. Like this is like legitimately like it's not just that it's like because it's not bad even.
No, that's
it's
the
like
other thing. It's like I love
funny
that
and cool sounding.
I love that it's like thinking about like Penny Rimbaud or whatever, sitting around also with his mates, wanting to hear some like little Christmas ditties. Like it's also adorable somehow. But I think we should. So that it's a medley of like a couple Christmas hits, and then these are some of the songs that they play on this side of the record. So this is in there. Punk is Dead. Sick diss track against the Sex Pistols for being sellouts, and also disses Joe Strummer in it.
Yes, that's right. That is just another tape, but I found a country say.
I mean, this sounds so cool. I would kill for that drum sound.
It's a very good drum sound.
So they cover that in their Christmas novelty single. They cover Big A, Little A.
All these videos, like, so you and I are watching this through like a YouTube player. And it's just great because it's all like very like Windows Movie Maker kind of like overlays of like, you know, the logo and the band name and stuff.
Exactly. These last two were uploaded by the YouTuber Anarcho Allen.
Yes.
I mean, I think you're right to think of them as Tragedy in the sense that a lot of like mysterious guy hardcore stuff is secretly playing with Crass stuff, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Really good. And don't they record this all on their like punk farm or whatever?
I think so. That's where I feel like I need to.
Crass live on a kibbutz or whatever.
I think I need to read the books now, because it's like I definitely had Stations of the Crass, and then I think I had I can't remember, but I just kind of would like zone out and pretend that they're a Christian punk band with all their Christian imagery. Close enough. Yeah, I had Stations of the Crass and Feeding on 5,000. Or maybe I had Christ the album too. I can't remember, but I just want to like know this band back to front because they're so good.
That super dead drum sound.
They do sound like they started a punk band for some sort of art installation.
Yeah.
Like they seem like a fake punk band where you're like, I wish punk was this good. So these are all the songs that are referenced on the Christmas single, Nagasaki Nightmare as well. I'll skip ahead. But even the regular songs have these like sick sound installations in them before they get.
Yeah, see, like that's not. I can't imagine like the Oogles at the Reverb back in the day going wild for that.
No, because it sounds like.
But I think they did. Maybe I don't know.
That's what.
All, I think I'm wrong.
I know. I think that I was like partially wrong too, but like not wrong enough to still have on the records and appreciated them from afar.
Yeah.
But I just still feel like Crass will always, for the rest of my life, forever, make me feel like I'm a poser. And I think that's good because I think I am and I deserve to feel that way. So I think it's like I have this like reverence for it because it's like scary to me.
Right. But do you think like, and here's the other thing that I've kind of always felt about Crass is that it's like similar to bands like NoFX where
I'm putting the single
Crass
on again in
fans,
the background because it's just
yeah,
too
because
good.
it's just nice.
Similar to NoFX?
Just in the sense that like I also feel like there is a fairly significant part of the Crass fan base that is like Crass fans more than they are just like punk fan. you know? So like, I think there are probably a lot of people who are like, you know, fans of like some kind of like, you know, whatever DB, you know, Blitz type bands who also like this band. But do you not feel like there's a fairly significant contingent of like Crass fans who like the entirety of their enjoyment of music and punk culture is really just focused on the notion of like liking Crass?
I think,
or am I another sort of assumption?
Here's what I
made it.
Here's what I think. I think that I've never experienced that or thought that before, but when I listen to snippets of Crass songs and then listen to this, I think I could become that person. Like, this is actually like all I would ever need out of punk music.
Yeah, there's nothing like missing here for you that you another band could help sort of supplement.
No, I honestly feel like I'm so flip-floppy with my opinions that when I listen to Crass and even just this single being so funny, and we're going to talk about it more in a second, it's like I feel ashamed of myself for ever liking like goofy, stupid pop, like for liking short music for short people. I'm like, ew, get out of here. Only like Crass, because you can still get the same things, the energy and the speed and the loudness and the silliness. You can get all of it out of this, but still have this like kind of highbrow feeling as well. So it's like,
but like, do you need? Because something for me that I feel like has actually been a real positive to come out of the pandemic is like truly, in maybe just at least in some aspects of my life, like letting go of the notion of like listening to anything that is like a sort of like listening or watching things that are like the cultural vegetables idea that, you know, we've talked about so much. And on some level, like listening to this, I'm like, this is sick. Still feels like vegetables. Like Crass is definitely like a
homework band,
history homework band. Yeah,
I agree with you, but I guess that's what I was thinking is like it's a homework. It's like
sometimes doing your homework helps you learn, and that's good.
When you have a cool teacher, when you have that one cool teacher who like turns you on to a concept or like a style of literature or whatever it might be, you're like, damn, learning is fun. Like when I hear Crass, I'm like, I want to go to the library.
I can't wait for 2021 to be the year that you just become a full-on Crassman.
I think we should. I just think 2021 might be the year that I go back to being a snob and stop, because it's just like the Christmas songs are
you
really.
Do. I feel like the last week was literally you being like, "I'm over snob." Like gatekeeping being over or not over is like a definitive part, I think, of every episode.
I know. It's like
so far.
I feel like I'm in the movie Venom, and I just like constantly have this voice coming out of me. Because I can't decide.
I didn't like that movie that much. Should I rewatch it?
It was so bad, but I think it was so bad it was good.
A lot of people. I feel like there's a lot of people on Twitter trying to sort of rehabilitate Venom's image, and it's working on me. You know.
I just think this internal battle between wanting to like good things that are cool, where I feel like I'm at a modern art gallery, and then liking things that are like lowbrow because they remind me of what I imagine Can't Hardly Wait is still like, even though I haven't seen it for so long. It's like that battle inside of me is still raging on. And this week I feel like I just love Crass and I want to like buy a coffee table book about them. Because I also feel like the other weird thing about them culturally is like, I'm wrong because I know for a fact, I can say his name because I'm not saying the name of his band, but Travis Barker recently wore a Crass shirt on Instagram, and I know that like they are still kind of, the purity of their punkness is still being ruined, and I think, of course, because of Pod Magic, this was just promoted again this week, and I meant to play it on the old version of the pod last year and never got around to it, but it was just uploaded this week just for us. Steve Aoki did a remix of Crass's Band from the Roxy, which was just posted. But it still looks cool. But I still think...
Wait, it's like licensed then?
Yeah, it's official.
So Crass was like, here are the stems, Steve Aoki.
The drums sound sick still.
Back from the Roxy,
Actually, this sounds really good.
Yeah, but like, why Steve Aoki?
I think maybe because he has like, if you haven't been paying enough attention, he does seem to have punk cred. I mean, he was in Heart Attack Zine all the time back in the day.
Yeah.
He released records on Evolution. I never listened to this remix, but it actually sounds so good. I was hoping to roast it.
No, this is really good. Yeah, it's fair. I guess like I think of Steve Albini as like exclusively being Travis Barker's friend.
You mean Steve Aoki? You said Steve
What did I
Albini.
say? Oh yeah.
That's because this does have Steve Albini energy. Like, it feels like somehow even Steve Aoki seems cool again to me because of this Crass remix. Crass is like a coolness black hole.
I mean, this is sick. Yeah.
And the video is really cool too. God damn it.
I mean, yeah, this is like a band that nailed their aesthetics in like whatever your way. Like, how long is? I feel like Crass is just like air. Like, it just feels like a band that's kind of existed in the same state for as long as I've been aware of punk air.
I mean, again, I feel like I'd have to read the books to really say anything of value, but officially they existed from
77
to 84 is when they existed. So they haven't been around. Like, and obviously they've never like done a big expensive reunion or something. I mean, probably they could have played Coachella or something if they wanted to. But
man, the idea of a Crass Coachella reunion is so sick. I really hope that happens.
I know, it seems like such a good idea. So, anyways, I'm just kind of like, I kind of have a crush on this band being so cool and just feeling so intimidated by them and way over my head. It's kind of an exciting feeling having just kind of come up with every different way to say octave chords are cool for the last 3 years. Yeah. It's like kind of exciting to be scared of this band, but then to also know that they have like a sense of humor. So this single, Merry Crassmas, which came out in 81, this is what it said inside the liner notes in all caps. Cold Turkey 1, very Merry Crassmas. Here's an amazing Xmas medley of Crass's greatest hits. Super fun for all the family. Plus, super fun time competition that everyone can join in. Here's what you do. It's easy. Just list in order the titles of the exciting Crass songs on this record. The first 3 correct postcards to be received will be sent the following great prizes. So they didn't list what songs they were doing on the 7-inch. You had to guess. Okay. You wrote in to guess. And so these were the prizes if you could get it. The first prize was bath salts, which doesn't mean the drug back then, obviously.
Yeah, that must have just been like a way to relax.
So that's the best thing they'll give you. The second prize was 1 exploited single. The third prize was 2 exploited singles. I mean,
yeah, that's legitimately funny.
It's so funny. I think this is the coolest Christmas punk song.
I mean, you're right. It's not quite like I don't know that I can enjoy it beside my glassed-in gas fireplace, but maybe in terms of sort of capturing the best hypothetical ideal, like of a festive, fun, dumb atmosphere. This kind of is that, right?
Yeah, it just makes you think like, damn, even these guys who like won't shut up about Thatcher and all that stuff, very correctly so, but still they're just like, they seem so one note. It's like, give it a fucking rest. Even they want to just like goof around and have a funny Christmas thing that they can send out. I mean, that's so
sorry. I really do like that you were like, by the way, Thatcher is bad, of course. It'd be horrible if anyone who listens to this podcast got the wrong idea about how you feel about Margaret Thatcher.
I like Margaret Thrasher, the band, but not Margaret Thatcher. Also, this was credited to make it even more funny. Like, if you look at the Discogs, I mean, I'm becoming just a Discogs Crass guy already. It's already happening.
This is like a really exciting new Josiah to watch being born. Like, I'm watching you crest.
It was laying dormant. This used to be a part of me, and it was laying dormant. But it was credited to Creative Recording and Sound Services, and you'll notice it doesn't have the Crass logo on the cover or anything. Like, they pretended that it was like a fun family time.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I believe on the B side, if we talk about it again, they say something like, if you're having turkey, I hope you choke to death on it. And then because on the labels of the record, if you look on the Discogs here, the side A said a creative recording and sound services production, catalog number Cold Turkey 1. And then the side B label said, in the UK this Xmas, over 20 million turkeys will be slaughtered for human consumption. That is around 20,000 for each minute of Xmas Day. So, I mean, they still
just living their raps.
Does that seem accurate, you think?
There's no fucking way. How many people are there in England? There's no way.
Oh, this is going to turn my algorithm into some extreme vegan propaganda. Well, 22 million are eaten on Christmas. I'm assuming that's in America. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. There's no way that 20 million get slaughtered in the UK unless the US is importing British turkeys.
Well, maybe they've been eating less because I'm seeing on a website, viva.org.uk, 15 million turkeys slaughtered in the UK, with around 10 million killed for the Christmas market alone. Yeah, but obviously they're probably inflating the numbers a bit for their agenda, which fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to go vegan yet, but I am vegetarian. I respect it mostly because I like this Crass record. I think it's really funny and cute. But
have you ever met a turkey though? Like, I mean, maybe they deserve to die.
Is there a thing with like reverse inflation or the turkeys are bigger now, so they don't have to kill as many? So that's why the numbers gone down.
To feed a family, you would have to kill 2 or 3 turkeys.
But now that they've just kind of filled them up with poison and chemicals and whatnot,
exactly.
Now that they're genetically modified, is that better? Because you're genetically modifying turkey so you can kill less, so that's still less turkey souls that are being killed.
That's true. And they're not even really turkeys, right? Because don't they breed them with like no eyes and no legs or whatever now? They're just like sort of turkey sentient like meat cubes. That's the rumor, right?
I hope it fucking chokes you.
In terms of you becoming this like Discogs Crass fan, I can't help but feel like maybe I really held you back from like 3 or 4 years of personal growth and development, by forcing you to sort of think about the same band that was not Crass every week for so long. And you just haven't had an opportunity to bloom yet. And now you're blooming.
I do think we would straight up be killed by someone if we did the same model as before, but discussed every single Crass song with the exact level of knowledge that we currently have about it.
Totally. We're like, punk is dead. That's interesting. Do you think punk's dead, Joseph?
It's so good. Oh, man.
I kind of thought the Sex Pistols were funny,
That song is really good, too, Punk is Dead. But the other thing that I thought you would be charmed by with this 7-inch is that it actually hit number 2 on the UK indie chart, and apparently it was charting for 8 weeks. So it worked. Like the goofy joke worked.
Look, you're like, you'll be impressed by this. It sold well. Like, well, that is the thing that matters.
No, I mean, you're always tickled by whatever's the UK's Christmas chart topper.
Wait, this hit number 2 like at Christmas.
I think so, yeah.
This was almost the Christmas number 1.
Yes, exactly.
Don't know how to exclaim in English. That is. I wasn't really thinking too much about it. Imagine if this was the top of the charts,
top of the pops.
Has Crass ever done top of the pops? Have they ever been like very funny on it?
Do you think Ed Sheeran has ever acknowledged Crass before?
For sure.
Like, I want to know. Like, maybe I'm trying to think who's like the British celeb that's most likely to have acknowledged Crass. Noel Fielding or something.
Yeah, maybe. like in an aside on one of your baking shows or something?
Yeah, just like, by the way, Punk is dead.
Do they still live on a farm? What's the deal? Don't they live? Is this in the books? Do you haven't read?
I should have read the books. Yeah, I didn't cover it. I kind of thought that we would have already spent a long time talking about all of these things, but it is pretty interesting to think about them doing this single. And again, it's so much funnier than it has any right to be, and it just sounds funny and silly and cute. Like, Crass is a really cute band, is I guess what I didn't realize until I actually sat down and listened to their records. They're kind of adorable.
again, I think if you, like me, had kind of looped them in with this very like dumb punk, there's not even a better way to say it, like just like the dumbest version of punk, their version of a joke is also like about that clever, whereas everything about this is kind of like warm and cute, like you said. And I no one in like Steve Goof is not going to be able to make a joke this funny, whereas I guess Steve Ignorant can, which is, you know, the important
Probably, I mean,
goofiness and ignorance.
Well, even right there, if your punk name is Steve Ignorant, you're probably pretty fucking cool. And if your punk name is Steve Goof, well, you might want to go consult your notebook and see what else you wrote down while you're brainstorming there, bud.
Yeah, but this is making me like, maybe I'm also, at least just to, because it's so funny. It's like such a just a blind spot. But I'm like, I mean, I've listened to Discharge and Millions of Dead Cops, and like I know all those other bands, but this one just like also feels like hard to get into and get right, you know?
And that's what's exciting about them, is like you can just put on a Crass record and like be challenged in a way that's not trolling you, but is just like actually expanding your horizons a little bit. That's why they're so cool.
It's also so interesting that they've retained the position. Like there is no one more synonymous with like anarcho-punk than this band. Like it doesn't. There's no band since then, and maybe it's by virtue of like, could Against Me have like become more synonymous like in 20 years, like given more time, had they not, you know, sold out completely and destroyed the anarchist punk community in North America in the process.
I mean, I still think Against Me was like writing pop songs the whole time, whereas Crass is like writing capital P punk songs all the time. But then they do this. So I also wanted to just mention in order what the track listing is while we play it. So it opens with Jingle Bells with an intro from Santa Claus. Then we got Big A, Little A, Punk is Dead, Big Hands, Contaminational Power, I Ain't Thick, It's Just a Trick, Shaved Women, Big Man, Big M-A-N. And then I think it closes, doesn't it close with another Christmas song? I think actually, the Discogs lists it differently, so it might actually be closing with Nagasaki Nightmare and While Shepherds Watched. So I'm not really sure. Maybe I wouldn't have won the competition.
This is really putting your fandom to the test early on.
It's true. I just love that, like, also the exploited diss in the competition is so funny.
But I'm like, in my mind, those bands were kind of the same, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like you gotta. I guess this is an example of why we should be doing our homework, because because Crass is cool as hell.
This is deeply embarrassing, but I'm glad that, you know, this is maybe gonna.
Then this harpsichord comes in. Oh my god.
Yeah. But like to be able to sort of, I was thinking of this recently because I was listening to another very punk band, Depeche Mode, that I've never like really gotten into, and I was thinking like, isn't it great, you know, that the history of music is so rich that you can kind of get to like being in your mid 30s and still be discovering like very popular things, but that like you just sort of missed out on.
Yeah.
And so like, isn't it great that there's like all this Depeche Mode for me to listen to, and like, isn't it great that there's all of this Crass for us to listen to, because like it's kind of it's never too late, and things that are good are basically always going to be good.
I think maybe 10 years ago there was still more of a thing. In fact, I think it is still about gatekeeping being over, is that you can now just be like, yeah, guess what? I've been going to punk shows my whole life, and I love punk, and I've never really listened to enough Crass before. And there was a time where you would have felt embarrassed to say that, maybe because we're hanging out with people in real life more often. But now you can just openly be like, I'm going to get into this. It sounds great. And that's all vibe. That's all you have to do. You don't have to be like, yes, they're seminal eponymous, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, it's like all that shit is for people who go to record fairs or whatever. Let them have their fun with. Also, this Christmas record is only like $14. I should buy it. I should just start buying Crass records.
This is your first step as a little Christmas gift to yourself. I think you should do it. I also think it has a lot to do with the scenes that you come up in, though, because I do have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the bands that, like, say, Junior Battles played with weren't really into Crass either.
No.
You know, like you were able to like exist in like a separate punk universe where instead of knowing all of the Crass songs, everyone just knew all of the Hot Water Music discography.
Right.
You know?
Which again, even though it's a correct thing to say, for you to describe a binary of Crass and Hot Water Music being on the other side.
I wasn't proud. I wish I could have said something that was going to absolve me.
All I'm saying is like some old record collector guy definitely just got like a chill down his back right now from you saying that. But I like that. I like knowing that you did that.
Like when you're doing grown-ups like really active, right? You know, sort of you and I doing that around the same time when you're touring a lot. Who's like a band that you feel like all the bands you played with, all the bands where you're like everyone knew that, but no, probably you weren't playing with a lot of bands that listened to Crass, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think so, and I mean I barely did as well. I think like
but who was that band for you?
The bands that I've been in have never been easy to lump into whatever I'm trying to do, and I'm always working against myself trying to make it fit into a thing so that I can like get someone to put up my record or whatever, and it never works because it's always clearly just like pop punk hidden like that. But yeah, I think I can't even think of an example. It was probably like the Gories or something. Everyone was into all these like fucking like rare garage records, and I wasn't into them at all. Or maybe that's the opposite of what you're saying.
No, I get the gist of it. I mean, I don't own a ton of Hot Water records, but like I think it's so interesting that like Crass has kind of maintained also this aura of impenetrability that those other bands that they get lumped in with don't have, right? Like I've never been intimidated to approach like an MDC record, right?
Yeah, or even if you think,
why have I not listened to Crass?
If you think of like unimpeachably punk things, they never like the shorthand for us would be to talk about Fugazi and $5 shows or whatever fucking bullshit that is. But that just seems kind of corny and gauche now. Maybe we're just gentrifying Crass in real time and we're going to ruin it, and it's going to be all of our listeners are going to listen to Crass and wreck it for everyone else. But I do think there is something about them that's just like not as kind of embarrassing and on the nose about. Maybe it's just because it's not tied to a specific movement or era. I mean, it obviously is 100%, but it's also like so creative in its own thing that you just kind of can't really touch it. Like, it just sounds good no matter what era it is, no matter what's the hip thing or whatever. It just sounds good.
And I also think, though, in terms of like what is the movement that they are a part of at that time, and you think about sort of like Thatcher's England and what we at least like know and have read about it.
The Crown, and season 4 out now, Netflix.
Yeah. Gillian Anderson, what we've been able to sort of gauge from her performance. Have you watched it?
Mm-mm. Yeah, Sarah's been watching it though.
I find myself intrigued.
Sarah didn't watch the other ones because it's like too old timey, but it seems like it's a lot better now. Now that it's like 80s. I kind of
want to watch Gillian Anderson be Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, and there's like there's like a really really Irish guy narrating a section about the IRA and stuff. It seems pretty tight actually. I kind of wish I was watching it, but then things will happen and she'll tell me about it and be like, I was so excited to, like this guy. Michael Fagan, who broke into Buckingham Palace and sat on the edge of the Queen's bed, and then he later would record a cover of God Save the Queen with some other like shitty Sex Pistols ripoff band. I can't remember what they're called, but I mean that's the other thing is like even this style of punk, first wave punk from the UK, there's so much garbage that is embarrassing and terrible. So for Crass to be cool is even more
shocking,
interesting.
Unlikely.
But anyways, this guy Michael Fagan broke into the Buckingham Palace and like apparently sat on the Queen's bed and talked to her, and in the show, like they have this long conversation, and the Queen's like, "Oh yes, I will listen to what you have to say about the working class and all this stuff." But like apparently she just like ran out of the room in real life when he broke in. You know, so
yeah, that seems right.
It's still very soap opera-y, but anyways.
Royal monarchaganda or whatever. But, you know, I just think like Crass politically falls into this category of like, it was, you know, very like the politics are right there. It's all very literal. And, you know, you go through phases with like how much you want to hear that, I guess. And so the funny thing about the moment that we kind of find ourselves in now is like realizing that all the stuff that occasionally seemed like over the top sloganeering when you were in your like early 30s, late 20s, and trying to be like cynical, you know, is all correct, right? So like Fight Club is kind of right about a lot of shit, and like Rage Against the Machine's right, and Adbusters is right, and like Crass is right. Like the sort of problems that England had under Thatcher.
That same guy,
exist.
that same guy just woke up again from his dream when you said that, when you compared Crass to Rage Against the Machine
and Fight Club. I want to make it very clear.
Even though I agree with you, and I also think though there's something about, maybe it's because something like this Christmas single, or just like how hilariously British it all sounds. Like, even if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, it's just really enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah, it's like taking a trip over the pond, you know, and you can't travel.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what this guy's fucking ranting about, but it's cute as all hell. And I love him. And I love him for trying. Okay, so there are still some covers to get to this week, which I'm so
curious.
I'm so impressed that everyone still steps up to the plate, and I'm trying not to advertise too much in the pod, and I've noticed that Sam just sort of lets me do it anyway, so I'm more the one groveling.
Well, here, why did I do it? So if you want to know what song we're doing ahead of time.
If you want to support the movement, like Rage Against the Machine, Fight Club, and Crass, kind of we're building a movement.
We're all a part of, we're the next in line. We're sort of part of that same continuum of righteous art that speaks to power. And so patreon.com/155pod. There's twice as long of an episode of this episode waiting for you there. Plus, you find out what the song is in advance, so you can submit a cover. And
they actually did it this week. I can't believe it. They actually did it. Yeah. There's a bunch of covers to get to. Before we do, I do need to just, it's one for me, one for you. I need to indulge a couple things that I found while I was searching Merry Crassmas, just real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, man.
So this is from the WG.
We're going on a Christmas journey together.
This is from the WGT Top Golf Forum from 2015.
Oh, yeah. Of course I know this.
Is WGT like one of those things in a bar where you're like fake golf?
Oh.
Is that what that is? Or is it, or maybe it's an app for your phone? I actually should know. It's an online game. So it's an online golf game. And so I didn't know why somebody...
Beloved by millions, it says.
When I was searching just the word Crassmas to see what was out there, somebody wrote Merry Crassmas WGT. This is a post on the official forum for Top Golf's golf iOS app.
The number one free golf simulator in the world.
Posted on Christmas Day, 2014, 10:30 a.m. Somebody named Dead Bunny from Canada on Christmas Day wrote, "This will be my last post. With all the issues, controversies, and problems over the last year here with the VT, other sponsored events, in quotes, known cheating players who are still here and being paid out by WGT, etc., etc. You'd think that perhaps the owners of this place might wish to extend some sort of goodwill gesture to its player customer base. No? Free Xmas rental? No is certainly the correct answer. In fact, not only is it a resounding no, it's pretty much a screw you slap in the face. Just shut up and buy more of our shit and never mind what we do with the game." This goes on. This person is like writing a full-on...
You've read about 10% of this post.
Manifesto written on Christmas morning about this golf app. And I don't know why they put Merry Crassmas. I mean, it doesn't... I was doing a search, and it's only in the headline. So is that some sort of shorthand in the golf community when you're... or is this person also kind of taking the anarchic vigor against authority and applying it to the bigwigs at WGT by Topgolf app?
I think they're saying that the way the WGT treats its user base is crass. Crass commercialism, is a phrase you hear.
Well, apparently they've spent over $200 on this app.
Wow. I'm not going to say anything about cheats and cheaters. You know who you are. It's just too bad that not one single player who has used CE in the... This is... CE.
Look at this person.
Like performance-enhancing drugs.
This person named Romex on here is like the oldest man I've ever seen. And again, all of these posts almost all of them are on Christmas Day. People fighting about this app. And then it looks like they took a week off and everyone came back to fight on New Year's Day. There's no in between. Everyone just takes their holidays to go fight about the golf app. So that's just something that
Crassmas indeed.
Crassmas indeed. And then finally, I don't know why this is labeled Crassmas as well, but it's very important. This is uploaded by somebody named Oh No. Merry fucking Crassmas. And it's a man in his kitchen listening to Christmas music and smashing plates on the ground aggressively. Is this a YouTube genre I could find out about? Or?
Oh, no. There's like Christmas lights up, but they're also in their like a parka and a hat. That was weird.
So, Merry fucking Crassmas.
Merry fucking Crassmas there, eh?
All right, let's get into some covers.
Ooh, let's get under the covers together, Josiah.
Oh, that
Feeling
could be
a little
the
cold
thing
this Christmas.
All right, so again, I just can't believe that there were any submissions, let alone as many as there are. And it's a lot of people.
I was very curious.
A lot of people have seemed to have made this into their like sort of weekly creative diet or whatever. Like it's just like I actually love seeing all the same names pop up all the time. Someone who's been killing it every week, who's here, was actually the first person to submit, and submitted, I think, 24 hours after the episode came out.
That's intense.
Immediately, but so we're gonna open up with Baby Tyler, baby.
Tyler's baby.
Santa here to say, have lots of fun, everybody. Lots of jolly fun. One, two, three, four.
My God, this is a full band cover of the entire thing. I mean, this is 4.5 minutes.
That's incredible. Like such attention to detail. Like I'm amazed.
That is so good. I also should mention, so every week we get these covers and we debut them on our Thursday episode, and then there's the Friday episode that's free, and then I put them all on Bandcamp on Monday. But I feel like it's kind of weird to put a whole Christmas compilation on Bandcamp the Monday after Christmas. So,
that's a little weird.
I'll make sure it goes live on Christmas Day. So if you want to listen to
that
these
would be nice.
Christmas
Okay,
songs,
because
otherwise, no one wants to be thinking about Christmas on whatever December, whatever is the one after.
Moved on to just thinking about
Mortality.
Secretary's Day, and you're on mortality.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, and 1990s jokes as well.
So starting to do a callback to the first part of the episode. I'm honestly not sure.
I think it was in this. I think it was in the right zone. I think you've given the cheapskates a free callback, and that's no good at all.
Normally that would cost you $5 at patreon.com/155pod.
Up next is
that good enough, Josiah?
Yeah, that was good. Thank you. That was this. Up next is Matt Ayer, who also showed up last week. So here's Matt Ayer with Crassmas Side A.
Like, I'm just astounded. I'm just fucking astounded.
It's so good. Oh, It's ridiculous.
Like, just it's good. And again, proof that I guess Crass is really good.
Yeah, if it can turn into that kind of music.
Yeah,
I don't know what that was, but
good.
I just pictured the Relapse Records logo while we were listening to that.
Yeah, totally.
Something else I love, because you're not really active in the Discord, but whenever we say what our impressions are of this, people are always like, "Oh, that's funny they said that." Like, I am signed to Relapse Records, or like we're always correct. So it's fun. Again, just this feeling of being invincible that I think usually lasts forever. Right? Is that kind of?
I think that's how that works. No, there's no come down. Some people just feel good always.
Speaking of, I don't know. Speaking of something, just kind of speaking of our hubris and our general sense that we're too big to fail. Up next is a cover from our dear intern. So this is the 155 intern, who now has the handle Blink155pod on Twitter.
Which I had to follow. They tweeted me and let me know that I didn't follow them. Which is an odd sort of exchange to have. But
so anyone, if you want Sam to follow you, just tweet at Sam Sutherland and he will follow you back. Sam follows back. So just everyone spend Christmas Day tweeting at Sam Sutherland to follow you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But our intern actually got some help from his intern. So this is 155 intern and the intern's intern. Yeah, so
intern nesting dolls.
Hello, everybody. It's Santa here to say to all.
This is so cool. This makes me think of those, like, what we mentioned in an earlier episode of wanting people to do those, like, draw a face on your hand and make it talk.
Yeah, there were a few.
This sounds like what those look like, but if they were, like, sort of high on huffing glue or something. If you can make your hand huff glue.
Yeah, you get that hand high. That's basically a cappella, though, right?
I think so. Is it?
I mean, really, like that's.
Oh, more stuff happens later on, apparently. I feel like we can skip around. It's Christmas.
Wow.
We can skip around a little bit. It's Christmas.
Hey!
Okay, so
I'll just be honest. Other podcasts, interns could never.
it's true. And also look, as someone who has a great intern, I think you got a great intern too, intern. So
Yeah. Well, we obviously recognize intern greatness when we see it.
it's true. Now, if your intern, if my intern's intern gets an intern, then I'll I don't know. I was too busy trying to start the first half of that sentence. I didn't know where I was going with it.
Right, you were sort of. I'm going to get on this long enough.
All right, up next is Fish Tricks. I think every single person who submitted has already submitted before. Perhaps
There's this song. You probably have to be pretty hardcore into the notion. You know,
it's true. All right, there's Fish Tricks.
Christ. I'm feeling so festive.
Me too. Like, and also confused.
Hello, everybody.
Is this what it feels like to be old at Christmas time? Like feeling festive, but also just very disoriented and a little bit
just
scared.
tired. Like looking forward to going to your room so you can just sort of lay down and enjoy the quiet for a moment.
Trying to get these strange sounds to stop.
Yeah. This is our first truly old Christmas.
All right, up next, I'll see you later.
Hello, everybody. It's Santa here to say to you all, have fun. Lots of jolly, jolly fun. I hope you had a jolly time and lots of fun. And a happy new year to you all. And if you're munching on your delicious turkey at the moment, I hope it fucking chokes you.
That's 22 million people choking in America alone right now.
That's true. Turkey is also like not very good. I don't think turkey tastes very good. It's the worst part of the meal, in my opinion.
This is like a real.
I'm not trying to do a whole hot dog as a sandwich Twitter type of thing.
Yeah, like come on, man, you're better than this.
I am better than it, but that's why I don't even want to entertain whatever your retort might be. I just want to use my platform to say it. I just want to say my half.
Good. You've been heard. You've been heard, Josiah, once again.
That's all I wanted. Is that so much to ask? All right, up next is Jake Rolfe, who I believe has been here. I think they've all been here before, but I just feel like I need to say that for some reason. I think I'm forgetting how to do the podcast this week, maybe.
You're settling into things.
Hello, everybody. Santa here to say, have lots and lots and lots of fun.
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
Let's see Steve Aoki do that shit.
Yeah, that's true. This is really this is an improvement.
This sounds so good in headphones, too. Oh. And it's a minute 55 seconds.
Oh, of course. The fact that this song has also sort of inspired people to make very interesting art themselves, also very cool. You know? It's like, what do you pull out of that? It's, you know, they've been all... Like this is a strange collection of songs here. But like uniquely strange.
Exactly, you know? Yeah. Okay, so up next is the artist formerly known as 709 Nightcore. Exclusive Rare Demo is the name they've been using lately. There's just a few notes here. This is called Merry and Happy Crassmas by Exclusive Rare Demo. All music based on Crass, except a sample of the Sex Pistols singing Jingle Bells. Merry and Happy by Twice, I believe that's the K-pop group. And this video of somebody playing While Shepherds Watched Their Flocks on piano, so just some old person playing a Christmas Carol on piano, is all in what we're about to hear. Merry and Happy Crassmas from Exclusive Rare Demo.
It's Santa here.
I feel like that's the most in the spirit of Crass, maybe.
Yeah, totally.
I felt like there was a swarm of bees flying around in my head, but in a nice way, like it was massaging my brain with their stingers.
That felt the most like 2020 Christmas to me. You know, it was just like this is how it feels today. You know.
All right, up next is Bozo Nightmare, who I believe was on the comp last week. Bozo Nightmare, good-ish, crassy. It's so hard to speak today. Good-ish, crassy trashmas is what this is called. Good-ish, crassy trashmas. I think we got some
guitar solo.
We got some Mysterious Guy hardcore in the mix.
Yeah,
I think
too long.
I think you're absolutely right that it's like whatever we input into this weird machine that we've built by accident, something that will come out that will reflect that. Like we've put in this like weird novelty art punk into here, and so we're getting like these exciting and a little bit scary art punk things back.
Yeah, totally. That's what the machine spits out of you.
Exactly. I'm scared but excited. All right, someone else I think has been here every week is Jordan Lane, a friend of mine from Calgary. Jordan Lane did this Steven Tyler Book Club podcast. I don't really know what this is. It says Merry Crassmas Melody, but it's credited to Weird Jordan Lane, and I think it might be some sort of Christmas parody song. Because there's like full-on lyrics and stuff too. I don't know if you can. I don't know if we'll get through the whole thing. Maybe it's a bunch of miniature. I think it's a bunch of miniature Crass-themed, Christmas-themed Crass parodies.
Wow!
In one medley. I think that's what we're looking at here from Weird Jordan Lane. So we'll just listen to a bit of it.
Oh yeah, Man from the North Pole. Okay.
Yeah. Is there coal in my stocking? I think I need to read some of these lyrics first just to do them justice. Is there coal in my stocking? The presents that are owed to me, I'm never going to get. I've been a naughty boy this year, done things I should regret. I pulled my kitty's ears. I pressured all my peers. I'm nowhere near the nice boy side of Santa's list this year. Is there coal in my stocking? Of course there is. Of course there is. Band from the North Pole. And then there's Tame Reindeer and Snow What. So let's check out some of Weird Jordan Lane.
The presents that are owed to me, I'm never gonna get. I've been a naughty boy this year, done things I should regret. I pulled my kitty's ears, I pressured all my peers. I'm nowhere near the nice boy side of Santa's list this year. Is there coal in my stocking? Of course there is, of course there is. Coal in my stocking. Of course there is, of course there is. Coal in my stocking. Of course there fucking is. Bound from the North Pole. Okay, never liked working there. Anyway, Santa said he wanted well-behaved boys. He wants our fingers slaving over wooden toys. Fuck him, I've chosen to make my stand. A tiny little elf stands up to a big man. Santa sits there on his overfed horse, living off the sweat of the little upper class. Banned from the North Pole, okay, never liked working there. Anyway, jingling bells, jingling bells, jingling bells, jingling bells. Tame reindeer collaborators, tame reindeer, are they traitors? Broken antlers all around. Jingling bells, tame reindeer instigators. Tame reindeer, are they
Holy fuck. That's like my jaw was open the entire time. I was like halfway through. I was like, I'm cartoon reacting to that.
Let's finish. There's only 40 seconds left.
Let's just finish it. Yeah.
Jingling bells, jingling bells, jingling
It sounds like Sleaford Mods. Also, this is exactly what
I'm
Sleaford.
naughty or I'm nice. He says he's got a list that he checks twice. He says he's gonna give me lots of stuff if I can be a good boy long enough. Snow what? Snow what? Snow what if Santa's a jolly old elf? Snow what about a fucker? He can fuck himself. Snow what if he's got a giant sleigh full of gifts? I hope he crashes it into a bloody snowdrift. Snow what? 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 Merry Crassmas, everyone!
That was fucking unbelievable. I feel like I got chills a little bit from how good that was.
Wow. The band from the North Pole part was like especially good. And then when you said it sounded like Sleaford Mods, I was like, I wish Sleaford Mods was this good.
I also appreciate
that was definitely better than Sleaford Mods.
when I saw this whole lyric sheet and I saw some lines said 4 times and whatnot. I was like, okay, this is going to be a bit rough, but I appreciate the economy of time as well. Like that was like a true
Absolutely
medley. I think the intention was for it to be 155 long. It says 156 on, but that's SoundCloud's fault. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah, that's not
up.
Weird Jordan Lane's fault.
Weird Jordan Lane. I'd love to hear more from Weird Jordan Lane.
Wow. Jingling bells.
I'm definitely going to listen to that again. It makes me want to just like fucking shut down the North Pole, you know? We need to rise up.
I think so. This is our time.
Oh, now you know what's happening is I'm starting to finally, because of my embarrassing SD floorboards ST Manville flub the other week, I almost missed this one too, but I got it. This is a reference to the intro last week. This next artist is called Toilet Rental. I'm sure that you don't remember.
I do remember that. That was actually really funny. It was like one of those, like, it felt like a real, like, stoned thought to be like, oh my God, I'm just renting this toilet. But no, that's really stuck with me. See, these are the things that I remember.
Write that down in your gratitude journal, I think. Just write down Toilet Rental.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to pull it up. Okay, it's going in the gratitude journal.
All right, this is
no explanation.
This is a Crass cover from an artist named Toilet Rental.
Have fun! Lots and lots of jolly fun!
I'm torn between wanting to continue the bit of not saying the band name and also being genuinely moved by that.
Like, it was, I felt truly lost in it. Like, really, I mean, that was Jesus Christ, that was really beautiful.
So good.
Hilarious.
All right, finally, someone that I've really appreciated more and more every week, who's been submitting every time, is John McClane of the band Todd Killings with a Z from Philly. I didn't realize, but Todd Killings is seems to have released a whole bunch of records that kind of have a cult following. So I'm definitely going to check out Todd Killings some more. This week, John submitted a song from Todd Killings called "Merry and Crass and Mass." And it's drum machine and violin. There's a sample of Born Against, Mary and Child throughout. So this is what we're closing on Todd Killings. I can't wait to hear this. Let's go. I gotta skip ahead a bit. This one's 10 minutes and 55 seconds long. I can tell it. It's so sick.
This is wild.
Imagine listening to this whole thing on Christmas morning. Maybe that's what I'll do.
What better Christmas gift to give yourself than the gift of Todd Killings, Merry and Crass and Mass?
And that's Merry Crassmas, Side A.